Hi, it's John here from See You on the Start Line podcast. I'm the event coordinator and race director for CJM'S events. How many is too many? Yep, that's the question I'm asking. Also talking today, Motorway half marathon wrap up and Run Mt Hutt, Muddy Good Run and Krank It. So the question that I'm asking is something I wrote in the email that went out to everybody last night is how many is too many? This is the question that I've been sort of throwing around. I've had some great responses from people when I put that out last night. One even with a photo of themselves with Arthur Lydiard, who they'd done some training with for different events. They showed in that they wanted to show that they'd done running. I remember talking with Arthur Lydiard years ago, and he very, very spouted out that you only really want to be peaking for one or two events a year and to train for those. So it was sort of the question that came up about was, you see so many people doing back-to-back events, ultra marathons, half marathons, all sorts of things, and they don't really give the body that chance to recover. So you really wonder whether they are peaking for anything at all, or are they just out there slogging it out and probably living in that probably could be brain fog or something like that, because they're just not getting that recovery for their bodies, where they'd be better off picking 2 or 3 races a year and going out and peaking for those. There's no problem with still competing in other events, because these can be used for race pace, they can be used for training for you, so you actually know where you are with your body and how it's going. And it just, sometimes it worries me. I see people out there slogging it out time after time, not only at our events and other events, and they just seem to be backing up, sometimes week after week. And it really makes me wonder about what sort of advice they're getting, what they're doing to their bodies, what are they going to be doing for stress on the body, etc. around this. But you see some amazing stuff, distances that people are doing on Strava, and then you see their posts on Facebook as well, and it just doesn't look like that they're actually tapering for an event or anything like that. It all came, this sort of started thinking earlier in the year when I saw somebody who got injured prior to one of our ultra marathons. They'd been training really hard, they'd done a number of these, and they got themselves injured. They had basically a couple of months recovery from that, hadn't done a lot of running, still wanted to do the ultra marathon, and that had only really started to be able to train about 3 weeks beforehand, but that training was very, very limited. They still participated in the event, and they performed the best that they'd ever performed. It was just, they couldn't understand it, they were thrilled with it. It was just amazing. She was just so happy about the whole thing. But what it really, to me, it showed that she was fresh. She was recovered. Her body felt so much better. She could run. She wasn't tired. She wasn't run down. And again, wasn't injured. She'd been injured and had that chance to recover. So what it probably comes down to is that it's better for people to get some real advice from somebody who knows what they're doing with coaching or has experience in that. I'm not saying that I'm a coach. I've coached a number of people over the years and also participated in a lot of 2 Ironmans and a lot of triathlons. Participated in a lot of endurance cycle races and other standard cycle races, and that. So the last 15 years, having not been able to compete because of injuries restricting me from doing these events, but I just see what's happening out there, and I think that it would be great for a lot of people to just take some time and get some advice, coaching about what they need to be doing and what they should be doing, especially when they lead into some of these bigger events. But that's up to you, and it's up to them as well, if you wish to do that. I just want you to keep on, for us to be able to offer you great events, and whether you use them for race day or whether you use these for training for your other events, it's just that opportunity to actually perform really, really well. Well, talking about performing well, on Sunday we had the Christchurch Motorway half marathon. and boy, it was shown that that course is fast. Andy Good showed us that, he can run 67 minutes and 5 seconds for a half marathon on that fast course. And in the women's race, Meg Davidson, she won the half marathon 86 minutes 29 seconds. So they weren't mucking around, either of them, in that event. It was a beautiful day. It was perfect for the start with the weather conditions. Then it started to deteriorate more around that 1 hour 30, 2 hours into the run, when we started to get a few showers, a bit of mist and rain. The mist decided to hang around for prize giving, made everything really, really wet. Seeing the runners on the podium, they still, people stayed around and enjoyed the prize giving that was held. So thank you for everybody for that, and thanks for everyone who come along. It is a great course. We started and finished at the Christchurch Motorway Half Marathon. Christchurch Canterbury AMP Park for the Christchurch Motorway Half Marathon, and the out and back course, it really, really flows, and it was great. There were some fantastic times put in there by lots of people doing PBs, and that's a really cool thing about it. And lots of people crossing the finish line, they had their own individual goals, a bit like we were talking about earlier, and it doesn't matter whether you're first or you're last, to see the faces of everybody as they come across those lines, and especially when they've got family and friends around and there's so many photos being taken, and the smiles on people's faces, enjoyment, you can see them actually achieving those goals. It is marvellous to see. Well, talking about goals and really things, just quickly on this one, is Run Mt Hutt on the 8th of March. That is on Saturday week. Now, this is the inaugural event, and it's going to start at the Awawa Rata Reserve, and you'll go up Scott Saddle Track up to the Mt Hutt Skifield Road. That's at Scott Saddle where it comes out, and then the run will take you up to the Mt Hutt Skifield car park out by the bungee jump, where you'll turn and come back down the same way you came, and then back down the Awawa Rata Reserve. So that is going to be the 25k. The 12k will take you up through the Scott Saddle track, and then pop out onto the road, go up to Rocky, the big rock that's at halfway up the Mt Hutt ski field, and then come back, and that'll be a 12k run. So that's going to be a really, really cool day on Saturday the 8th. If you haven't entered yet, we've got late entries that are now open for the event, and it'd be fantastic to see you all out there for that inaugural event, starting at 8 o'clock on the 8th of March. So it's one you've got to tell your grandkids about, that you were in the inaugural Run Mt Hutt, because this is where it's all going to start, and it's going to be fantastic. Knowing historically, people have asked me, how long is it going to take? Generally, some pretty classy runners have run up there in 70 minutes and come back in 40 minutes. So that's basically just under 2 hours. So the question is going to be, will anyone run under 2 hours for the inaugural event? So we'll have to wait and see on the 8th of March. And if you want to come along and see them finish, if you're not going to be doing the run, you can come to the Awawa Rata Reserve on McLennan's Bush Road. Also, the Awawa is also known by a lot of locals as McLennan's Bush. So make sure you're there to see that finish. It'll be around about 10 o'clock on the 8th of March. Now, what else we've got coming up? We've got lots of fun coming up, and this is all for the kids. Muddy Good Run. Well, it's not all for the kids, actually. Some pretty big kids who get out there and crawl around in the mud and go over cars and containers and everything. But Muddy Good Run is on the 6th of April. That is at the Canterbury AMP Park as well, and that is one fantastic event. We've got starts off with the age group of the children from 13-year-olds, 13, 12 and 11-year-olds do the first run, then the next one is the 9 and 10-year-olds, and then 7 and 8-year-olds, and then we have the 600 metres, it's more than 600, it's about 800, 900 metres for the 4 to 6-year-olds, and they have to have a parent with them. There's no charge for the parent. The parent looks after the children in the mud and up over the cars, under the cars, over the cargo nets. It's just really, really cool to see those wee ones do it. Yeah, we do get a couple of tears sometimes at the start when we do the first mud pit, by the last mud pit, and when they're coming across the finish line, those tears are changed to smiles, and the stories you get out of that. Now, there's medals for all the finishers, except the parents when they're doing it with 4 to 6 year olds. The kids get the medal on that one. But we have, after the children's event, the 4 to 6 year olds, we have the family run. Now the family one is all the families. You can do that with 4 year olds upward, and everybody just gets out and totally enjoys that one with the family. Great memories are made. It's 3K, but it's a 2-lap course, and after 1500 of the wee ones that had too much, you can run through to the finish line. Sometimes it may be dad who runs through the finish line with the children, sometimes it's mum, sometimes it's all of the whole family, but there's no problems if they do 1500 or whether they do 3K. Then we have prize giving, but a lot of fun for the kids with a few spot prizes. And then we have the adults come in, and the adults do a 5K run, and that is done as individuals and as teams. It's huge for team building, great for businesses, great for families as well, and it is really, really good. We have a lot of gyms that take part in that as well and compete against each other. So that's one that's not to be missed. That's on the 6th of April at the Canterbury A&P Park. Then the following week, on the 13th, we have Krank It. Now this is one for children and all the ladies out there. So it's for children and women. It is the 7 and 8 year olds. It is for 7 and 8 year olds do 7 kilometres, and the 9 upwards they do 11k, and the females, adults, individuals do 22k. But the cool event is that you can do it as mothers and daughters, mothers and sons, where the mums do the first lap, and then they tag the children and they do the second lap, and the children cross the finish line and get all the glory for it and the medals. Mum gets a medal as well. But it is just a super, super event. It's one that we just love to give back to everybody. This is a Bottle Lake Forest Park, and it's on Sunday, the 13th of April. It is such a cool event, and you see so many kids just enjoying themselves. The parents, the photographs that get taken, grandparents there. It's just super cool. So recommend that to anybody who's got a bike. It doesn't matter. You can be the smallest bike you've got out there, the oldest bike, it doesn't matter. It is just a brilliant day. So if you haven't entered any of those events, we've got coming up Run Mt Hutt, which run Mt Hutt, hutt.co.nz to enter that. Muddy Good Run is muddygoodrun.co.nz, and Krank It is Krankit, krankit.co.nz to enter that as well. So you need to get and have some fun with those events on the 6th and the 13th of April, and of course the 8th of March. You have a hell of a lot of fun when you get up the top of Mt Hutt and look out across the scenery that's there. So that's the other one for a lot of fun. But when you do enter, make sure you recommend that you click the withdrawal insurance, and why not grab yourself a memorabilia t-shirt, which are $39.95, or in the case of Krank It, you can get the kids one of those at $69.95 for Krank It. So for a cycling jersey. So I recommend those for you. Until next time, make sure you keep up the training, and we'll see you on the start line. If you've got any queries, contact John at CJM'S or text me or call me on 027 226 7769. Until next time, see you on the start line. Cheers.